Hello. When it comes to African American women and cancer, Black women have some of the highest death rates of any other group. The American Cancer Society is here to tell us about a groundbreaking study to hopefully reverse the trend. And the first ever Brown Mamas Weekend takes place this summer right here in Pittsburgh. The Brown Mamas founder is here to tell us all about the immersive program designed to enrich your motherhood experience. Plus, Juneteenth gets bigger every year in Pittsburgh, from parades to concerts. William Marshall is here to tell us what's in store this June. So pull up a chair and meet us at the corner. Intersection starts right now. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, Director of Community Impact at KDKA+, and the host of Intersections. When it comes to most types of cancer, Black women have higher rates than any other racial group. And as you might imagine, the death rates are higher too. That's according to data from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Minority Health. So what can be done? Well, the American Cancer Society is launching a groundbreaking study to examine this issue, and they are looking for participants right here in Pittsburgh. Joining me here in studio is Lawana Fuller. She is the Director of Women's Imaging and Chair of Diversity and Inclusion Initiatives at UPMC Magee Women's Hospital. And we also have with us via Zoom Dr. Lauren McCullough. She is the American Cancer Society Visiting Scientific Director for Population Science. Welcome, ladies, to Intersections. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So I'm going to start with you, Dr. McCullough. The study is called Voices of Black Women. So tell us a little bit about this study and why it's actually being done and what you're hoping to learn.
Right. So as you mentioned, we know that Black women suffer disproportionately with respect to most outcomes, health outcomes, but specifically with cancer. We know that Black women are more likely to be diagnosed with aggressive types of tumors that are harder to treat. They're also more likely to be diagnosed at later stages and have poorer survival compared to most other race and ethnic groups. And so because of this, we really feel like it's important to have better representation in medical research so that we can really understand what's driving these health differences among Black women and ultimately develop interventions that are going to be culturally appropriate and help to narrow some of those gaps.
Yeah, so this is called a population study. Kind of explain what a population study is and why the American Cancer Society wanted to do that kind of study.
Right, so we're conducting a population-based cohort study, and so a cohort is essentially a group of people that are followed over time. So our group of people would be those 100,000 women who choose to participate in the study, and they will be followed over a long period of time, and in this case about 30 years. So the thing about population studies is they're very different from traditional health studies we think about, like clinical trials where you're given an intervention, a drug or a behavior. We essentially just want to connect with these women and better understand their life exposures, their behaviors. And so essentially it just means that women will fill out surveys over the next 30 years to tell us about their conditions, new health outcomes that have emerged in their lives. But it's not an intervention. We're not giving you a drug. We're not asking you to adhere to a special diet. We really just want to follow you and your life experiences.
Yeah, and I know that you're doing this in about 20 states. Pennsylvania is one of the states. So Lawana, you can talk to us a little bit about, including Pennsylvania, including Pittsburgh, and why that's important to make sure that Pittsburgh is part of this study.
Thank you, Lisa. It's critically important. Between 2015 and 2019, interestingly enough, the national average of incidence and mortality of breast cancer was higher in Western PA than it was nationally. And so because of that, we need to touch this community and make sure that there's an understanding of it is important for them to participate in this study.
Yeah. We know a lot of times when we talk about African Americans and their relationship with the medical community, there's a level of distrust. Yeah. Do you think that the way this study is laid out, where it's questionnaires, that makes it a little bit more acceptable, that more women might be more willing to be part of this?
It could, and it probably could not, because it's still invasive into my lifestyle. What do you want to know about me? Sure, you may not be administering a drug, or I may not have to report for something, but there's still probably a degree of skepticism. And so there comes my part, being able to represent the community, not only with my clinical background, but my administrative background and the work that I do. So I really love having the opportunity to speak to that and to say, I get it. We remember Henrietta Lacks. We know about the Tuskegee experiment. We know about that, and we have the right to be cautious about what the medical community is asking. But look, I'm here to tell you, if we don't do this, how can we treat Black women better? How can we minimize that number of 40% or more dying because of being told they have breast cancer?
Yeah. Dr. McCullough, I want to turn back to you and see if you can kind of give us a little bit of the layout of what the eligibility looks like.
Absolutely. So for anyone, a woman that's interested in the study, you would go to our website, voices.cancer.org, and there you would confirm that you're eligible to participate. So identifying as a Black woman between the ages of 25 and 55 years old, living in one of those eligible states or DC, and not having been diagnosed with cancer except for skin cancer. And if you are eligible, you would read over our informed consent, and it just basically outlines the policies, procedures, data protections, all of those things you would want to be able to feel comfortable engaging with us in this research. And you'd fill out a registration survey, and that essentially is just demographic characteristics, your name, your address, phone number, email address. And we have you fill out that survey separately from the questionnaire because we want to keep those data separate. That team would be able to follow you over the next 30 years. And myself as a researcher, I wouldn't have access to that information to be able to link your identity with any of your questionnaire responses. Mm-hmm. So that initial process takes about 10 to 15 minutes. And then from there, you would fill out your first full questionnaire, which asks about, your medical history, family history, behavior such as sleep, your neighborhood environment with respect to food accessibility. We also ask about experiences of racism and discrimination, caregiving and social support, things that are very important in navigating this country as a Black woman. And so if you enroll in the study, we want to be able to follow you for over a long term. Again, it's a prospective cohort study. And so we'd reach out to you twice a year to complete a short 30-minute survey. And so really it's just a 1 hour investment over the next 30 years, which can have substantial gains in us better understanding Black women's health.
Yeah, and then we're almost out of time, but I know that obviously this is about cancer. So if someone is diagnosed with cancer during the course of this study, what happens to them? Do they still participate? How does that work?
Absolutely. So twice a year, we'll do a health update, and that's where you can report an incidence of cancer or any other disease. But certainly if you report cancer, we're going to want to continue to engage with you because it's not just about preventing cancer, but also understanding that a certain number of people are going to get cancer. And what we would like to have happen is that everyone has an equal opportunity to survive their cancer. So we're going to ask questions about your interactions with the medical community and treatments, etc. That way we can inform survivorship as well.
All right. Well, ladies, thank you again so much for being with us and sharing this information that, of course, you can go to the American Cancer Society's website for more. Thank you again. We appreciate it. Well, coming up, the Brown Mama monologues are expanding. Muffy Mendoza is here to tell us how. You're watching Intersections. Well, if you're a mom, sometimes you just need a weekend to be with other moms. Get inspired, laugh a little, fuel up to be a better mom. Well, you're in luck. Muffy Mendoza from Brown Mamas is joining us to tell us about her new big thing. It's called the Brown Mamas Weekend. Welcome, Muffy, back to Intersections.
Thank you for having me, Lisa.
All right. So, me too. I'm super intrigued. What is the Brown Mamas Weekend?
So Brown Mamas Weekend is just what you said. It's an opportunity opportunity for Black moms to get together to celebrate the complexity, the beauty, the unity of what it means to be a Black mother. It is a chance for us to get together and inspire each other with our stories, to hear from some experts, both local and national, and just the opportunity for us to get together and have some fun. Because being a mom is tough. And we need a break too sometimes.
It's a lot of work,
Right.
you know, it's
Absolutely.
nonstop. So how did you kind of come to this point of saying, okay, let's do this?
Well, people have been asking me for years, like, okay, the Brown Mama Monologues is such an excellent event. Like, what do we do afterwards? And so, of course, I've been thinking about it and brewing on it. And I'm like, I really want to make this into a 2-day event. We've been doing the Brown Mama Monologues for 7 years now, and we've had 7 years of just incredible acceptance and success. And I was like, this is the year, 2020, more in 2024 is what they say. So I was like, this is going to be our year that we take this a step further and actually make it a weekend event.
Yeah. So kind of, you know, dig a little deeper, like what are we going to see, you know, if we come, like day one?
Absolutely. So on day one, you're going to get to enjoy what everybody knows, which is the Brown Mama Monologues. You're going to get to hear from 6 phenomenal Black moms about their stories of just being Black women, Black mothers in America. And we all love that event. And then on day 2, we're going to do a deep dive into the areas of womb, wealth, and wellness. So we're going to start talking with local and national experts about womb and what it means to take care of our health and be well as Black women, as well as what it means to secure our bags, secure our pocketbooks, and begin to invest for ourselves. And so this is just going to be a holistic experience that really asks Black mothers to take action on their total health goals and not just one specific area.
Yeah, that's so important because a lot of times
Absolutely.
we're the nurturers, right? We're the ones that are like trying to help and make sure everybody else has what they need.
Right.
And we don't think about what we need sometimes. So that's really good. So you're expecting women to be coming from all over the country because
Yes.
Brown Mamas is like 10,000 people strong, something like that,
Yes.
right?
So we are inviting Black mothers from everywhere. We want them to come and see all of the greatness that is taking place in Pittsburgh amongst Black women, all of the great organizations that we have here in Pittsburgh, as well as just creating an opportunity within the community that we've created here as Brown Mamas for Black moms to come in and experience what it is like to just be surrounded by other Black mothers who are living life, who are trying to take care of themselves, who are trying to get their health goals together. And we're really excited that moms from other regions will come to Pittsburgh and get to experience the Still City.
Yeah, yeah. What is it like that environment when those mothers are all together, especially like for the monologues, you know, they're all together, they're listening and they're like, yep, that's true. I heard, you know, they're reacting to what they're hearing. So
It's definitely like you're going to have a bunch of like, yes, sis moments. You're going to have a bunch of moments where you just want to clap and snap your fingers. And it's a really, I think what sets the Brown Mama Monologues apart and what's going to set Brown Mama's Weekend apart is it's this really intriguing opportunity to take a deep dive into what it means to be a Black mother. And I think that's what crowds have resonated with over the 7 years that we've been doing the Brown Mama Monologues is just an event like this does not exist in our city where you can hear from the mouths of everyday Black mothers. These are not women who, you know, have taken some stage before. These are women who just have a story to tell and really want to overcome. And watching them get on that stage and tell that story is so liberating. And then the next day to be able to follow that up by hearing from some national experts like Latham Thomas and Cassandra Cummings from the Stocks and Stiletto Society, I think is just going to bring this event 360 and give moms an opportunity to just dive deep and really self-reflect on what it means to be a Black mom in America.
yeah, and the part about the financial is really important because, again, with all of the nurturing that goes on, sometimes that will drain your bank account.
Right.
So why did you really want to make sure that that was a piece of this weekend?
Well, that was absolutely, when I first started thinking about doing Brown Mama's Weekend, I was like, we have to have a wealth component. We know from our community that the number one struggle that our moms have is economics, is wealth building, is, you know, wanting to secure their futures. And so we knew we had to do that. And we decided we were going to do number one, we were going to have a big speaker, Cassandra Cummings from the Stocks and Stiletto Society. And then we also decided that we were going to have a panel discussion about wealth, about cooperative economics, and how Black women can begin to pool their money together in order to create a more secure future for their families and their communities. And we also knew that we wanted to create a space where Black women would begin to reflect on wealth as a form of wellness. Like, it's not just about, you know, money and material possessions, but it's really about securing your future and your foundation. And so we knew off the bat that we wanted that to be an integral part of this weekend.
Okay, so we want to go ahead and show the graphic that kind of shows like what happens on day 1 and day 2. What are the dates again?
The dates are July 27th to the 28th. You can find out more information at brownmamasweekend.com.
And it's at the August Wilson.
And it's at the August Wilson Center. Of course, we had to have it at the historic August Wilson Center.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Muffy, for being with us. We appreciate it, and all the best with this. It sounds great.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
Thanks
Take
for
care.
having us.
Well, coming up, William Marshall is here to tell us what's in store this year for Juneteenth in downtown Pittsburgh. Intersections. We'll be right back. Well, over the last 11 years, William Marshall has grown Juneteenth celebrations in downtown Pittsburgh by leaps and bounds. Thousands of people from around the region come downtown for food, music, a parade, and more. B. Marshall from Stop the Violence Pittsburgh joins us to share what is happening with Juneteenth Western PA. Welcome back to Intersections.
Thanks for having me. So happy to be here.
Yeah, so, you know, we have this event now, it's 11 years, and it really, it's not just Juneteenth. It stretches over like a couple of weekends.
Yeah, it goes beyond the Juneteenth weekend, the traditional weekend. So we start off with like our Black Tie Gala that starts in May, and then we do a Juneteenth Youth Fest in early June, and then we have our major celebration around the Juneteenth celebration time period.
Right. Tell us a little bit about the Youth Fest. Let's kind of start with the beginning. That's going to be kids, you know, coming out, having fun. Tell us a little bit about what happens to that.
Yeah, so in 2021, we were trying to think how we could expand the Juneteenth celebration to include our younger people, our students and things. So we came up with the idea of having the Juneteenth Youth Fest at Mellon Park. And we were able to bless the partner with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Pittsburgh Penguins to have some sporting activities out at Mellon Park. And we then grew and got some other people involved in it. For example, this year we got DeMar Hamlin. He's coming to do something with the CPR program and bring the Red Cross and different people out there to do something to show people about correct health and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So the festival is going to be June 8th and 9th at Mellon Park. For the youth, it starts at 9 a.m. and it runs till 4 p.m. But right after that, we also have made our Black Heritage celebration for our adults. So the youth fest will be sporting activities and vendors and things of that nature. But then when we transition, it's going to be more vendors, national entertainment, speakers. We're doing a line dance tribute to Roland Ford, who passed. He's one of our heroes.
Yeah.
We're bringing in some national entertainment, which is going to be Sammy on June 8th, and then Big Daddy Kane on June 9th.
Okay. And then after that, we get into the weekend of the 14th, 15th, and 16th, right?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about what's happening on each of those days.
So we're in the same locations that we're traditionally been in. So that's going to be Point State Park, it's going to be Liberty Avenue for our vendor plaza, and it's going to be Market Square. So starting off with Market Square, we call that area now our Juneteenth in the Square location. That's designed for our older crowd. We want to have something so they don't have to walk around all through downtown and enjoy themselves. So there's going to be vendors up there, there's going to be speakers, but we also have national entertainment. So on Friday, the first night, we're bringing national recording artist Climax. Climax is an all-female group. Saturday, the next day, we're bringing in the Blackbirds. The Blackbirds is going to be performing up there. On Sunday, we're bringing in a jazz guitarist named Adam Hockley. He's going to do a tribute to the great George Benson. Then as we transition down to inside Point State Park for each day, first day is Friday, June 14th, which is our hip hop day. We're bringing in Arrested Development. We have two other major iconic rappers, a guy called Philadelphia Freeway, another guy called Benny Siegel. On Saturday, we transition into our ladies' night. For the ladies' night, we're going to bring in Brownstone, we're bringing in Elle Varner, and then we're going to have, I forget the lady's name right now. But on Sunday, we also transition to our gospel kind of closeout day, and we're going to have Kelly Price,
Okay.
and we're going to have Stokely.
Okay. All right.
But one special thing that we're going to have,
Yes.
June 15th, is our parade.
Yes.
And for our parade, we started this parade in 2016, and we learned about these other parades that were in the city of Pittsburgh that were black parades that started in 1870, and it was important for us to bring that culture and heritage back. So this year, for our parade on June the 15th, we need everybody in downtown by 11 o'clock on Fifth Avenue. We have Tuskegee Airman is going to be one of our grand marshals. His name is James H. Harvey.
Yeah.
By now, people should know that we're also bringing in Master P.
Yes.
And we're going to have a black man's division. But we most recently added another guy. His name is Aaron Rudolph. Aaron Rudolph is the teenage boy that you would have seen this year when they had the incident in Alabama. He jumped off the boat to go help the captain on the deck to fight against a racist attack. So we're bringing him in to be one of the grand marshals for our youth. He's only 17 years old.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So again, we keep saying it's bigger, it's better. Do you think that this year is, you know, a better year, will be better than years past? I don't know how it can get too much better, but.
Yeah, so actually this year was going to be a lot bigger and better with all the stuff that's been going on in the news and things like that. It's actually galvanizing the community, and the community is coming out in full force to support our Juneteenth celebration. So that's one of the things we want to say to the public. We really appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting. You've been stopping me on the street, you've been calling, you've been texting, you've been Facebooking us. But we understand that you appreciate and love the things that we do for the city of Pittsburgh and for black culture. One of our proudest achievements for our Juneteenth celebration is that last year we hosted the largest Juneteenth in Pennsylvania. We had over 50,000 people. We generated $4.2 million for the city of Pittsburgh through economic impact. So I don't know what somebody else can do to top that, but hey, again, we were the largest in Pennsylvania. So we're happy about that.
Well, we appreciate you coming, and we appreciate what you're doing, and we look forward to this year's festivities. Thanks for coming. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
All right. And I'll have my last word when we come back. Rectify. Sometimes we need to take time to set the record straight, make an adjustment or correction. That's what Major League Baseball did recently by adding the stats of Negro League players to the record. The result was several black players moving up in the record books, including Pittsburgh's own Josh Gibson, who played for the Homestead Grades and Pittsburgh Crawford. Now he holds baseball's record for batting average, slugging, and more. His great-grandson, Sean Gibson, told us it's about passing down the legacy to his own grandson. It's also clarifying the history for others who love and play the game. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Intersections.